Hi. I'm, I'm trying not to be smiling because I'm so depressed. And I wanted to say that I know why my son Sean is always so depressed because he plays poker. And it's just horrible. Like this afternoon, I was in a tournament and I won, and I did my happy video about, I won this little tournament. And then I went for an evening one, and I had taken this acetaminophen, I think that's how you pronounce it, for a horrible headache. And I'm going to digress for a moment because I just took like a high dose of this acetaminophen, and it worked like a charm on my headache. And I mean, I've got to tell you, my head, I was like just wishing I was dead. Like it was hurting so bad. But like anything can get me out of this pain. So it makes me think like when Sean was imprisoned at UAMS and they were giving him like they gave him fentanyl, and he said he was a 2 out of 10, with 10 being the most pain. So like, I mean, I would have said I was a 10 today. And acetaminophen works. Like aspirin, you could go to the pharmacy and get it. You don't even need a prescription. But, they were giving him prescription. But, it's not like, I mean, they gave him that too. They gave him that and fentanyl. So they gave him fentanyl when an aspirin would work. And I just don't well, anyways, I guess I'm thinking about Sean because he does all these being depressed videos about poker. And now I understand because tonight I played in another tournament. And this one was a little more expensive, like $100 more expensive. And the prize was for free tickets into like the main event and 2 other of the higher end tournaments where you could win some significant money. So I was like, all right, that's cool, because they're like 700 and 500, maybe 300 to get into. So that's what the prize was. Well, I was playing brilliantly. I made one good move that had a bad outcome because I folded an ace-5 offsuit, and people just overplay their aces all the time. It's like the stupidest thing. Like, you have an ace-5 offsuit. What are you going to do? If an ace comes out on the board, you're stuck because now you've got 2 aces. But I guarantee if somebody else is playing, they got an ace-jack, ace-queen, ace-king, or, I mean, maybe they've got an ace-9, and if they hit their 9 and you hit your 5, they win. So there is that off chance. So I'm not going to ruin the story, but anyways, so I did throw out an ace-5, and then of course 3 aces came on the board, and 2 men were playing it. They never showed because one of them bluffed the other one off, and I knew he was bluffing because I threw the ace out. I'm the one that had the quads if I had played it. So anyways, I was playing really well, and there was a lot of women don't play. Like there's really never a lot of women. So the tournament's a little bit more than cash games. But there was this woman sitting on my right, and she kept pushing like all in. shoving all in. So all in, all in, all in. And then, of course, everybody folds. And she's building up quite a little stack, just collecting the blinds because nobody is willing to call her. And I don't call her, don't call. Finally, she says all in. I have like 31,000 chips. She's got 31,000 chips. You need 200,000 to win the prize. So that would have been a big jump. I'd only have to like double up 2 more times. But so she says all in, and I've got an ace queen suited, which is a really decent hand. I wouldn't normally go all in with it, but she's just been saying all in, all in, all in. So I'm like, okay, I know I've got her beat. And so I call, everybody else folds, and we turn up our hands, and she's got an ace 2 suited. Okay, well, like that's exactly what I expected. So an ace queen versus an ace 2. The ace queen is going to win. I think it's probably, off the top of my head, 93% of the time. She hit a 2, and I didn't hit a queen. And so she busted me down to nothing. And then later on, I just was walking around. Oh, I just got bit by a mosquito. So I was walking around, and about an hour later, and I see her, and she's like, oh, I busted out too. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. Because even though I'm autistic, sometimes I still say those stupid things that people say to each other. Like, how are you? Fine. When you're really, how are you? Oh, I've got this terrible headache. You wouldn't have enough any acetaminophen on you. But anyway, she said, like she had busted out too. And really in my head, I'm thinking like, of course you busted out. Like, how many times do you think you're going to say all in and nobody's going to have a decent hand and call you? And, your little jack eight's going to lose. Like, it's like so entitled to think that you could possibly say all in that many times. But I see it happen, and they build up stacks. They get away with it. They just collect those blinds, and towards the end of the tournament, like this was, the blinds are pretty. I'd say the blinds. Let's see, the blinds were 2,000. So big blind had to pay. They do this thing where instead of antes, where everybody at the table puts in an ante, the person who has big blind puts in the antes. So the big blinds were 2,000 and the ante was 2,000. And then the small blind was 1,000. And so there's 5,000 in blinds. And then she says all in with 30,000. And if everybody folds, then she's got 5,000 extra. And, if it works 6 times, that's what it did. It worked 6 times for her. She ends up with, 30,000. And then, if she hadn't had a bad beat, if she hadn't bad beat me, then she would have been out. But she won that hand. So anyways, it's just depressing to make a hero call and then lose to the 7% chance of losing. But I don't know. The highs are high. And I am darn good.